Lent is not a season of comfortable spirituality. It is a sacred time when God gently yet firmly asks something radical from us. At times we think of Lent simply as a time of giving up something, food, comforts, or a few bad habits. But the Gospel today invites us to reflect on something deeper. It calls us not merely to change our practices, but to allow God to transform our hearts. In the Gospel, Jesus says, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." At first, this sounds like a very high and almost impossible spiritual ideal. But perhaps Jesus is inviting us to see the world the way God sees it. This teaching in the Gospel of Matthew is not simply about being kind, it is about breaking the instinctive patterns of the human heart. Naturally, we love those who love us. We feel comfortable with those who appreciate us, understand us, and treat us well. And when someone hurts us, rejects us, or speaks against us, our instinct is to distance ourselves, to protect our pride, or even to return hurt with hurt. But Jesus challenges this very instinct. He says, if you love only those who love you, what is extraordinary about that? In other words, Christian love is meant to go beyond what is natural. It reflects the very heart of God, who loves not only the grateful and the good, but also the ungrateful, the indifferent, and even those who oppose Him. If we observe nature, we notice something interesting. The sun rises every morning without asking who deserves its light. The rain falls on every field without choosing which farmer is good or bad. Creation itself reflects the generosity of God. And Jesus says that is how the Father loves. In the reading from the book of Deuteronomy, Moses tells the people, "You shall keep these commandments with all your heart and all your soul." And then he says that God desires them to be a people holy to the Lord. Lent, therefore, becomes a sacred invitation, not simply to give up something, but to grow into the likeness of God. It asks us to examine the hidden corners of our hearts, our resentments, our silent judgments, our unwillingness to forgive, and to allow grace to soften them. Holiness is measured by how we love when it is difficult. It is about reflecting the heart of God in ordinary relationships. Let me share a simple observation from life. Sometimes two people plant trees on the same day. One person waters the tree regularly, protects it, and patiently waits. Another person forgets about it or neglects it. Months later, the difference becomes visible. One tree grows strong and full of life. The other struggles to grow. Our hearts grow in a similar way. Every small act of generosity, patience, or forgiveness becomes like water to the heart. Slowly, quietly, it changes who we are. When Jesus says, "Love your enemies," He is not asking us to ignore difficulties in relationships. He is inviting us to keep our hearts spacious, not narrow. Think about the people we meet every day: family, community members, colleagues. Some relationships are easy, others require patience. Yet each relationship becomes a place where the heart can either shrink or grow. Lent gives us the opportunity to ask ourselves a gentle but important question: is my heart becoming wider or smaller? When we choose patience instead of irritation, understanding instead of judgment, prayer instead of resentment, something beautiful happens within us. We begin to resemble the generosity of God. That is why Jesus ends with the most demanding words: be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. This perfection is not about never making mistakes. It is about a heart that learns to love without limits, without calculation, just like the Father who sends rain on the just and the unjust. And when it happens, the words of the book of Deuteronomy become true. We become a people who reflect God's presence in the world. Perhaps the grace of this Lent is simply this: to allow God to widen our hearts. Let us pray daily for one person we struggle with. Speak no negative word about them. Ask God to bless them sincerely. This is the radical path of the gospel, and this is the deeper conversion that Lent invites us to embrace. When we begin to love beyond what is easy, we begin to reflect the very love of God Himself.